that video is a woman suddenly sitting up in bed and kind of screaming or making a noise. And of course, that looks like she's in pain. If you were in that room, you'd want to be doing something about that, including myself as a hospice nurse. Dying is a process. And depending on what you're dying from, your personality, how old you are, there's so many things that can come into play in the dying process. So the things you're seeing don't necessarily always need to be as alarming as they look. Now, as a hospice nurse, if I was in that situation, I would medicate for that. I would call that, I guess, terminal agitation or even restlessness. I would look to see, does she have to urinate? Is she constipated? Those are two big things that can make people act that way. So there's always things we can assess, and if we can't figure out why they look agitated or restless, we usually will medicate. Besides terminal agitation, there are other things you can see in a non-peaceful death. Some of those things that I usually see are severe nausea and vomiting, severe shortness of breath, severe pain, or seizures. Again, not everyone and most people really won't experience these things, at least not consistently. And what I see in people who do, it's usually in waves. So it's not like this steady flow of never stopping, just pure suffering. It's always like a long period of peacefulness and then a wave of symptoms popping up again, and we need to manage those symptoms. And it can look non-peaceful in those moments because we're managing the symptom. Now, depending on how long it takes to manage the symptom is how long this non-peaceful episode will last. A lesser known route, but more effective, is to give medications rectally. And the Macy catheter is a great way to facilitate that. Today's video is sponsored by the Macy catheter, which is a device that is placed rectally to help facilitate giving medications to control all of those symptoms that I was just talking about. Many people are turned off by the fact that this is placed in the rectum. However, I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's an excellent way to give medications to manage symptoms. If you want to learn more, please check out the link in my description. So as hospice care providers, there are several things we can do to help manage these symptoms to make the death more peaceful. When all else fails and we've tried all of the things and the person still does not appear to be comfortable, we can palliatively sedate them. This is something we rarely do, but it is something that can be done on hospice. The best thing I can say is there are ways to try to prevent and get ahead of the dying process to help make it more peaceful in the long run. And a lot of those things that you guys can do are things like you're already doing, which is educating yourself, knowing what death and dying looks like, talking to your loved ones, your friends, your family, all of you guys discussing how you want your end of life to be. Do you want to be in the hospital? Do you want to be at home? Do you want to be resuscitated? Do you not want to be resuscitated? Do you want music in the room while you're dying? Do you not? So all of these things will help everyone prepare themselves. So education, education, education is the first thing you can do to help facilitate a peaceful death. No one knows what death actually looks like because when it's depicted in the movies or TV, it's false. It's wrapped up in a pretty little bow and it's not accurate. I think it's so important that we really see what it looks like when someone is actively dying, not in pain, just going through the natural process of the body shutting down, so we can prepare ourselves. The more we know, the less we fear. So that is why I'm showing you these videos. I will give you a trigger warning when I'm going to show you, and these are not my patients. These are sent to me by followers of mine, and I'm given permission from them to show these videos. So actively dying. You've seen in my other videos talk about actively dying, which is the last phase of life. Most everybody in this actively dying phase will look a certain way. In these videos are going to show you great examples of what I'm talking about. So this first video I'm going to show you, and again, I'll give you a trigger warning before I do, you're going to see what it looks like to have the changes in breathing that I always talk about during the actively dying phase. So this person is fully unconscious. They did die within a few hours of this video, per what the family told me. And it's a great example of hearing terminal secretions and seeing the changes in breathing. So trigger warning, here is the video.